Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Katowski, Chair, and Patrick Morrissey, our Vice Chair of the Town of Mount Pleasant Historical Commission. We wanted to welcome you to our final event for Black History Month for 2021. This is our 7th celebration year we have in celebrating Black history. And while this year's events have all been virtual, we hope that you will enjoy these presentations once again. Today's event gives a brief history of the 9 Black sororities and fraternities with Charleston chapters that are sometimes referred to as the Divine Nine. Black History Month is just one of the many initiatives of the Town of Mount Pleasant Historical Commission. We are responsible for over 70 historical markers with a verbal app spread throughout the community. We award the Cresco plaque annually to individuals or groups that have helped preserve our town's history. We have available self-guided tours throughout the town. We publish a weekly QFF, Quick Fact Friday, that touches on historical events and artifacts that are interesting to the community. People can actually request something and we'll research it and put it on the Quick Fact Friday. You can sign up for that on the town's website. We have distributed rack cards throughout the community, and this is an example of them. And on the front and in the back, you can see and get these at Town Hall or in various other locations throughout town and get better information as to what the Historical Commission does. We provide various community groups with speaking engagements. We've participated in many places around town and basically focuses on the history of the town. We are filling our new our history room in Town Hall with artifacts. Patrick, would you please elaborate?
Good day. Patrick Morrissey, outgoing Vice Chair of the Historical Commission, and from the design phase forward, the Historical Commission recognized the need to have a space in the Town Hall to preserve, maintain, and grow a collection, an archive. We now have such a space. You can go online to our history page within the town website, and you can browse some of that collection. Not all of it has been digitized online, but some of it has. But the point of me mentioning this today is the collection contains varied items, from the Dupree quilt to the digitized collection of Abby Monroe's papers, which the Historical Commission brought to us with the South Caroliniana Library, the personal papers and effects of Abby Monroe's second principal of Lang and administrator of the orphanage in the Old Village. We also have old building, historical building surveys from the Old Village and limited properties throughout the town, which brings us to our request. If you have a connection to Mount Pleasant history, have a connection to Mount Pleasant, are aware of items in your family's past, or perhaps just material that's out there that you think is publicly aware but the commission might not know, we have a donation process. If you have original materials or artifacts, we're happy to take those. If you have material that's suitable for copying, we can arrange that. But the procedures for donating materials and giving them to the Historical Commission for preservation in our archive are online, again, in the Our History page. And another part of that is a oral history program. If you are someone who has some insight into elements of Mount Pleasant history, certain events that you don't think that have been captured, we would love to hear from you. And this same mechanism, going online, contacting the Historical Commission, we'd like to hear your words, your memories, and if you have artifacts, documentation, flags, photographs, maps, we're happy to collect them and maintain them for you for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. And finally, I'd like to let you know this is Patrick and my last events for Black History Month. We've been doing this this is our 7th year that we've been doing Black History Month since 2015. There will be openings on the commission for people to sign up. If you're interested in the history of our town and want to get further involved, you can always do that. So good evening and enjoy the event. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nadine Ori, and I'll be singing Lift Every Voice and Sing. And I'm a member of Friendship AME Baptist, or AME Church. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has brought us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has taught us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on Thy way, let us into the light. May we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath the land, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Fred Pasley, and I am the president with the National Panhellenic Council here in Charleston, South Carolina. And I'll give you a brief history about the Panhellenic Council. Panhellenic Council meaning related to all Greeks and Panhellenism. Not to confuse it with Panhellenic Conference, which is held annually. The National Panhellenic Conference, or National Panhellenic Council, NPHC, is a collaborative umbrella organization composed of historically African-American intercollegiate Greek letter fraternities and sororities. The NPHC was formed as a permanent organization on May 10, 1930, on the campus of Howard University as a coalition member in Washington, D.C., with Matthew W. Bullock as the active chairman and B. Beatrice Scott as the vice chairman. NPHC was incorporated under the laws of the state of Illinois in 1937 and is headquartered in Decatur, Georgia. The National Panhellenic Council was formed as a permanent organization with the stated purpose and mission of unanimity, of thought and action as far as possible in the conduct of Greek letter collegiate fraternities and sororities, and to consider problems of mutual interest to its members' organization. The National Pan-Hellenic Council was established in an era when Greek letter organizations founded by African Americans were banned from being affiliated with Greek letter organizations founded by whites. The founding members of NPHC were Kappa Alpha Psi, Omega Psi Phi, Alpha Kappa Alpha, Delta Sigma Theta, and Zeta Phi Beta. The council member extended as Alpha Phi Alpha in 1931, Phi Beta Sigma in 1931, Sigma Gamma Rho in 1937, and Iota Phi Theta in 1996 joined this coalition of Black letter Greek organization. In his book on Black Greek letter organization, The Divine Nine, A History of African American Fraternities and Sororities in America, in 2001, by Lawrence Ross, coined the phrase, the Divine Nine, when referring to the coalition. The 9 NPHC organizations are sometimes collectively referred to as Divine Nine or D9. The member partner organizations have not formally adopted nor recommended the use of the term to describe their collective grouping. The NPHC now consists of 9 historical Black colleges, 9 historical Black fraternities and sororities, which are Alpha Phi Alpha, Alphas, Kappa Alpha Kappa, AKAs, Kappa Alpha Psi, Kappas or Ka Psis, Omega Psi Phi, Omega or Qs, Delta Sigma Theta, Deltas or Reds, Phi Beta Sigma, Sigmas, Zeta Phi Beta, Zetas, Sigma Gamma Rho, SG Rhos, and Iota Phi Theta, Iotas, all of which are incorporated. The council promotes interaction through forums, meetings, and other media for the exchange of information and exchange of cooperative programming and initiatives through various activities and forums. Each constituent member organization determines its own strategic direction and programming agenda. Today, the primary purpose and focus of the member organization remains camaraderie and academic excellence for its members and service to their communities. Each promotes community awareness and action through educational, economic, and cultural service activities. As required by the various campus recognition policies, neither the NPHC nor its members' national or chapter organization discriminate on the basis of race or religion. In 1992, the first permanent national office of NPHC was established in Bloomington, Indiana, on the campus of Indiana University through a joint cooperative agreement of Indiana University and the National Board of Directors of NPHC. Prior to its establishment, for over 62 years, the national office was sojourned from one office to the next. And there you have a brief history of the National Pan-Hellenic Council. Thank you.
I bring you greetings from the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. My name is Darrius Jerome Gourdine, and I'm a spring 1990 initiate of Alpha Phi Alpha at the chapter called Beta Chapter at Howard University. Our fraternity was founded December 4th, 1906. We are the first fraternity founded in what's called the D9, which is an abbreviation for the Divine Nine. The Divine Nine consists of 5 fraternities and 4 sororities that make up the African American fraternities and sororities held within the Pan-Hellenic Council. Alpha Phi Alpha was founded on the campus of Cornell University in Ithaca, New York. It was founded by 7 young men who were college students who came together and noticed that there was no network at that time for Negro students who were struggling with their grades, struggling getting to know one another, trying to matriculate through campus and through college life, whereas their counterparts, their colleagues, they have fraternities in place. As a matter of fact, 2 of our founders worked at the fraternity homes that were white fraternities. So they learned a lot by witnessing what they saw with the banquets, with the comings and goings of the brothers, and they got together and they formed a literary society. This literary society was used to help to collaborate with notes from different classes, information from teachers, from professors, and things that would help incoming freshmen or students after them matriculate through the university. Through dealings with the literary society, they decided to lean more toward a service-oriented organization. And they felt like a brotherhood was timely, and it would be in place for them to move forward in transitioning from the literary society to a fraternity. So they made the decision, and on December 4th, they made it official. Within a year, they decided to expand to include other universities. And on December 20th, 1907, they chartered the Beta chapter, which is held at Howard University in Washington, D.C. And then a week later, on December 27th, they chartered Gamma chapter, which is seated at Virginia Union University in Richmond, Virginia. Here in the Charleston, South Carolina area, the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha are very active. There are several chapters in the area, but I belong to Beta Kappa Lambda chapter, which is called the Charleston Alphas. We have a lot of local brothers who are dignitaries, who are in law enforcement, who are in medicine, who are in entertainment, who are in religion, and who pastors who head their own churches. We have a senator in our chapter, McKinley Washington, who was a former senator. We have two judges, Daniel E. Martin and his son, Daniel E. Martin Jr., both serve on the court, and a host of other brothers who are very active in the communities of Charleston, Mount Pleasant, and other surrounding areas. We also have a chapter in Summerville, South Carolina. We've got chapters all over the Low Country. In terms of nationally, we are located in just about every state, on every campus in the United States. We have chapters who are international. We've got a very active chapter in Johannesburg, South Africa. We've got a chapter in the Middle East. We've got brothers who crossed in Germany. We have chapters in Japan and in the Asian countries. We have a lot of brothers who are military, who are from generals all the way down. As a matter of fact, we have a general in our chapter here in Charleston. In terms of our notable members, the most notable member that we have is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was initiated at the Sigma chapter in Boston. He is the only American with his own statue who is not a former president, and he has his own holiday. We all know who Dr. King is. And so his contribution to our society, to our world, has been unprecedented, and he is a proud member of our fraternity. The list goes on and on. Brother Thurgood Marshall, who was the first African-American to serve on the Supreme Court. Jesse Owens, who broke the color barrier in the U.S. Olympics, and the list goes on and on. We have members who have been in education, members who have been in religion, Brother Wyatt T. Walker, who marched with King, Brother Lowry, Joseph Lowry, who just passed away, who also marched with King. These are freedom fighters. The current president of the National Urban League, Brother Mark Morial, his father, Brother Dutch Morial, was also president of the National Urban League. He was also the first black mayor of New Orleans. The convention center in New Orleans is named the Dutch Morial Convention Center. The National Urban League was actually founded by one of the Alpha founders, Jewel Eugene Kinkle Jones. He then passed it on to Whitney Young. The Whitney Young Classic is held in New York every year. And so all these brothers have been members of Alpha Phi Alpha, and they've all contributed to our society. The NAACP is an organization who is set to make sure that the legal ramifications of incidents that happen in our communities are fair across the board. This is another organization that was spawned from the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha. So our contribution to our community is indeed impactful, and we work closely with the other fraternities and the other sororities in reaching as many as we can. We recently celebrated a new election in which the first African-American and female vice president of this country was elected. She is a member of our sister organization, Alpha Kappa, Alpha Sorority, and she was initiated at my alma mater, Howard University, which is their Alpha chapter. Their first chapter was founded at Howard 2 weeks after the Alphas founded the chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha at Howard University. So we are striving to do more in our community. Our aims are manly deeds, scholarship, and love for all mankind, and we try to exhibit that in all that we do, whether it's through the chapter level, through the national level. We have national programs called Go to High School, Go to College, in which we visit all the way down to middle schools, and we encourage young people to attend college, to figure out what their major is going to be, to map out their life plan, and then to walk along them in a mentorship style fashion as they matriculate through their college and university. We have voter registration drives. We go out to the communities, we knock on doors, we give out information. We want to encourage everyone to get out and vote. Who you vote for is your business, but we want you to participate in the process so we can have a voice in what happens in our communities. We want to be able to hold our elected officials accountable. So the alphas go out and we make sure that everyone understands the voting process. We understand the impact a vote will have on you and your family. We want you to understand what the conditions are, what the terms are, what this candidate stands for, what they are saying, what they are committing to, and what they are asking of us, of our vote. How important our vote is, how impactful our vote is, and what our vote means when we go into that ballot booth and you make your selection. So the alphas are committed to making sure that we can do as much as we can to encourage everyone who is of age to vote, and vote with the knowledge of what you're voting for, who you're voting for, and what you can expect if your candidate is elected. These are some of the things that the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha are committed to, whether it's the local or the national level, and we have been doing that for 114 years. So I bid you greetings on this Black History Month from the Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha, and specifically from the Charleston Alphas, the Beta Kappa Lambda chapter, presidented by Brother Bernie Broughton II. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Melissa Yeldell, and I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Alpha Kappa Alpha had its humble beginnings as the vision of 9 college students on the campus of Howard University in 1908. Since then, the sorority has flourished into a globally impactful organization of nearly 300,000 members. Bound by the bonds of sisterhood and empowered by a commitment to servant leadership that is both domestic and international in its scope. As Alpha Kappa Alpha has grown, it has maintained its focus in 2 key areas: the lifelong personal and professional development of each of its members, and galvanizing its membership into an organization of respected power and influence, consistently at the forefront of effective advocacy and social change that results in equality and equity for all citizens of the world. Alpha Kappa Alpha has 5 targets of service. #CAP, HBCU for life. HBCU stands for Historically Black Colleges and Universities. This program focuses on the admission process and prepares students for college life. Women's health, breast cancer awareness, heart health, nutritional well-being, and caregivers are just a few of our many impact days. Economic legacy, personal financial planning, credit repair, and entrepreneurship. The arts, the Harlem Renaissance and the Black Arts Movement celebrates the contributions of African American artists. Global impact. Some of the organizations we support are Souls for Souls, Lions Club, the Pillowcase Project, which supports little girls and little boys in providing dresses and t-shirts, both domestically and also internationally. The North Charleston chapter members have been anchored in the community for over 35 years. And some of our most recognized members, one locally, is the Honorable Judge Tamara Cunningham Curry. Some other names that you might know is Maya Angelou, the poet, an activist, Toni Morrison, the playwright and author. But most notable would be Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. We are proud of all of their accomplishments, but most important, we're proud and delighted to call them sister.
First of all, I just want to thank Mount Pleasant for allowing us to come out this evening to talk about the history of Kappa Alpha Psi. My name is Kelvin Williams, and I'm the president of the Charleston Alumni Chapter.
And I'm Randall Dunn. I'm the Polmart, also known as president of the Moncks Corner Alumni Chapter.
And I am Art Williams, president / Polmart, if you will, of the Walterboro Alumni Chapter in Walterboro, South Carolina.
And today we are here to give you the history of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, which was established January 5th, 1911 on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. We have 10 illustrious founders who actually came up with the ideal of the fraternity in itself. It started out as a social group because of the fact that during that time in 1911, a lot of the students are not allowed to participate in such activities on campus, so they decide to come up with a social group. Started out by the name of Kappa Alpha Nu in 1911. Later on, it got chartered May 15th, 1911 as Kappa Alpha Nu. Unfortunately, during the time of the activities around the school, Founder Diggs overheard a group of white students made fun of one of the brothers of the fraternity and started saying that he's from Kappa Alpha Nu. After that time, on April 15th, 1915, they did a name change to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah, and to further expound on what Brother Williams said, and I'm also Williams, but we're brothers in Kappa Alpha Psi. One of the focuses were with two of our most famous brothers, Brother Elder Watson Diggs and Brother Byron Armstrong. They were two of the premier founders of the 10 founders that we have. They were the two brothers that actually got together and invited 8 other African-American males to participate and be a part of a meeting that they were holding, because, like Brother Williams said, that it was a social gathering at first, because they didn't have any other social events on campus while they were there, because they wasn't even allowed to live on campus, or perhaps wasn't afforded the pleasure to participate in any sports or anything other than track. They could participate in individual sports, but not group sports. And during that time, it was hard for them to adjust because they didn't have the same social activities that was actually taking place on campus among some of the classmates that were there. Also, with the history of Kappa, we want to let everyone know that Kappa does not discriminate because of race, creed, or color. We have white brothers in our organization, as well as we don't discriminate because of religion. We're just an organization that seek after good spiritual men and high achievers.
Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated has national guide right initiatives. Those initiatives include Kappa League, Junior Kappa League, the Amen Program, St. Jude Research Hospital, and the premier Kappa Camp program. With Kappa Camp, that allows inner city boys to attend camps across the country. And then the other initiatives, as far as the St. Jude Research Hospital, allows families to get support financially as they are caring for or having care given to their children that are, that have been affected with cancer.
Now, if you will, there are some other things that Kappa has notoriously done. We've helped a lot with storms, hurricanes, typhoons. We're big on supporting those type of initiatives. Just recently, for our Founders Day, a part of our project was, one of the projects that we had was funding the national, the museum in Washington, D.C., because we felt strongly that we need to have a presence there. So we have done quite a bit of giving and supporting of many of the organizations that are there.
And also, to add to what Brother Dunn mentioned about our initiatives, recently what was added is that our Senior Kappa's endowment program was established, and also the Achievement Academy. The Achievement Academy is actually reaching out to the undergraduate chapters and the undergraduate brothers to bring them into the workforce. So basically, the alumni brothers or any of the brothers that in the professional aspect or professional field, they will actually link with the undergraduate brothers to bring them into mentoring them into the business field. The Senior Kappa endowment basically is money set aside for each alumni chapter to help with our Senior Kappas. Most times when our brothers get up in age, they feel that they're forgotten. And so now with the Senior Kappa endowment and the Senior Kappa initiative, we are able to reach back and to get our older brothers, because right now we actually stand on their shoulders because they actually have led the way into what Kappa Alpha Psi is all about.
And one of the other initiatives that we have discussed as the brothers with the lot that we have with the Low Country chapters with Brother Williams and Brother Dunn, is that we're hoping that sometime on the latter part of the month we can get together with some of the other Greek organizations and set something up where we help some of the seniors in the community get registered for the vaccination or for the vaccine with COVID-19 vaccine. We are always active and trying to get things done that's going to benefit the community, because one of the things about Kappa is that we're always out there trying to do something for mankind, and that's part of our thrust to achieve certain things and have goals set so we can get those community activities and services done.
Also, a point of clarification on Brother Williams' introduction of the LOCK. L-O-C-K, that stands for the Low Country Coalition of Kappas. Each of us here represents a different chapter within Kappa within the Low Country. And to that end, we have collective initiatives that we've done, as Brother Williams has just mentioned, and then individually our chapters do other things in the respective area that we occupy. For specifics, specifically with the Moncks Corner, during the for voters, for the last election, my apologies, we collaborated with some other Greek organizations within Berkeley County, and we set up like it was a relief station just with the anticipation of long lines for voters to get water, snacks, just something to help them to endure and be there and stand in line to make sure that their votes are counted. And that was a very special moment because it was a very important election. And we just wanted to make sure that we provided an atmosphere that would allow people to cast their vote and be comfortable and not have to have other deterrents that would cause them not to be able to do that.
And also in the Charleston alumni chapter, our recent and greatest accomplishment would be the Guide Right program through our Kappa League that we have established in the North Woods Middle School, which is in the North Charleston area. We've been working with that school for the last 3 years now, and we've tried to develop the young men as they come through middle school and going on to high school.
In one of Colleton's most recent event, last year for Black History Month, we got together with the AKAs, another Greek sorority, and we sponsored a home buying seminar, and we had great turnout, and there was a lot of people that as a result of that seminar being set up and taking place, they were able to work toward getting better interest rates. Some actually got an opportunity to talk to builders as well as financing banks and so forth. So some of those people actually got homes. Now that was just right before the pandemic took place in March. So this year we won't be able to meet face to face, but we're still hoping to have another seminar similar to that to see if we can definitely help some of the people that are struggling now because of the economy and people that having problems making their mortgage payments and rental payments and so forth. Again, we're about service and assisting others.
Achievement in every field of human endeavor is our motto. That's what Kappa Alpha Psi is all about, is achievement. We strive to achieve in everything that we do, and we work diligently on making that known in the community and also in the world. Not only that we have alumni chapters here in the U.S., but we do have alumni chapters abroad and throughout the world. Africa, Abu Dhabi, Tokyo, Japan, and recently in Canada, we just established those alumni chapters. So as you can see, Kappa Alpha Psi is not only statewide, but is also worldwide.
Also, some famous or notable Kappas include Ralph Abernathy, John Singleton, Cedric the Entertainer, Hakeem Jeffries. There are several notables. Mike Tomlin, who was the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Can you think of any others that we?
Well, we have the astronaut Bernard Harris. He's one of the first African Americans that walked on the moon or out in space. We have Arthur Ashe, one of the first black tennis professional that was actually out there. Gale Sayers, football player, Chicago Bears, one of the most popular athlete that ever played football. So we had Colin Kaepernick, one of the most recent activists for human dignity and respect. So we do have a lineage of great men that are Kappas. And one of the things about it are we do not seek after good men. Good men seek after being better Kappa men. And so we don't seek after any individual because of their financial worthiness or their expertise or their profession. They seek after us being a Kappa man. And one of the things that you notice me carrying this cane here, and I probably should have left it on the table because I kept playing with it, but this cane represents being a gentleman. Most people admire this cane because of the color, crimson and cream. And so most people admire it for that. Now, I've been spinning it while I was standing here, but most real Kappa men, they twirl it, you know. And I don't want to twirl it because I got my brother right next to me, so I don't want to hit him with the cane. But this is something that you commonly see with the, especially young brothers that have good wrist coordination. They usually keep a cane.
Right, and that's mostly done like in step shows, and it's a heavier wooden cane that allows you to tap, twirl, and throw, and just do whatever else dance you're going to do with it. Yeah, so that's one of the things that Kappas are known for as well.
Well, again, Mount Pleasant, we just want to thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to share our history about Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Once again, my name is Kelvin Williams, polemark of Charleston Alumni Chapter.
And I'm Randall Dunn, polemark Moncks Corner Alumni Chapter.
And I am Art Williams, polemark of the Walterboro Alumni Chapter in Walterboro, South Carolina.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home when Jesus is my portion? A constant friend is he, his eye on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for heaven and home when Jesus is my portion? A constant friend is he, his eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eyes on the sparrow, watches over me. Hello, my name is Jennifer Grant Buggs, and I'm speaking on behalf of my beloved sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Our motto is greater service, greater progress, scholarship, sisterhood, and service. Sigma Gamma Rho was founded on November 12, 1922, on the campus of Butler University in Indianapolis, Indiana, right across from the home of the Grand Wizard of the KKK. It was founded by 7 young school teachers who were committed to service and education to all mankind. The local chapter here in Charleston is the Delta Iota Sigma Alumni Chapter and was chartered by 6 local area educators as well in November 3rd, 1973. The chapter has grown to over 50 members. Our national projects include St. Jude's, Project Reassurance, and Swim 1922. Our colors are royal blue and gold. Our sorority flower is the yellow tea rose. Our mascot is the poodle. Some of our notable members include Congresswoman Robin Kelly and Congresswoman Nina Turner. We have some people in education that have been noted throughout history. Our sorority was founded on education, so we have a lot of educators within our sorority. We also have some entertainment as well. Soror MC Light and Soror Kelly Price are 2 of the most notable members as far as entertainment goes within the sorority. If interested in our sorority, please visit our website at www.sgro1922.org. Please follow the local chapter on Instagram and Facebook at Delta Iota Sigma Chapter of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Thank you for the City of Mount Pleasant for allowing me to showcase and speak on behalf of my beloved sorority, Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Reatha Nesbitt, and this is Terrie Burns. We are members of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. At this time, I definitely want to acknowledge our international president, Valerie Hollingsworth Baker, our Southeastern Regional Director, LaWanda E. Harper, our State Director, Maxine Moses Adams, and our local chapter president of Gamma Zeta, Kisa Holmes. At this time, we're going to provide you a brief history of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was founded on the campus of Howard University, January 16, 1920. We were founded by 5 co-eds: Arizona Cleaver Stemmons, Pearl Anna Neal, Myrtle Tyler Faithful, Viola Tyler Goings, and Fannie Petty Watts. These women had their vision encompassed 5 things for the sorority. They wanted to ensure that there was unity amongst the members. They also wanted to ensure that they represented our community, that they had a plan of action for the 1920s and beyond. But also, more importantly, they wanted to establish a high standard of academic excellence for our sorority.
Hi, my name is Terrie Burns. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, the founders were instrumental in a host of firsts. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was the first organization underneath the National Panhellenic Council to have its own first headquarters in the state, in Washington, D.C. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated was also the first sorority to charter a chapter in Africa. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is also the first to have auxiliary groups. And finally, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is the one and only sorority to be constitutionally bound to a fraternity, which is Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
As far as the mission for Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, I think our Z-Hope program embodies that mission. Z-Hope stands for Zetas Helping Others Excel. Through that programmatic thrust, we empower individuals in our community from all walks of life. That program actually provides services as far as meeting the basic needs for individuals in the community. It also allows us to get engaged with the communities, whether we participate in council meetings or getting the vote out. So as far as Z-Hope is concerned, we really look at the mind, body, and spirit of those that we empower in our community. As far as the principles of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, our principles are service, scholarship, sisterhood, and final womanhood.
And speaking on our principles, service, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is a community conscience action-oriented sorority. With this, we have many partnerships to include the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the American Association of Retired Persons, the March of Dimes, which we've been with them since 1998. We've actually raised over $4.4 million. The American Cancer Society, the St. Jude's Children Research, and Women's Veteran Rocks. As far as national programs are concerned, we have Adopt a School, which allows members of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated to identify the low-performing schools and provide some sort of assistance in a number of ways to enhance educational experience as well as increase test scores. Elder Care, June 15th of every year, kicks off our campaign to distribute information in our communities on identifying signs of elder abuse, where victims can go for assistance. Stork's Nest is a 46-year-old partnership between Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated and the March of Dimes. Stork's Nest is a community-based prenatal health promotion program for low-income pregnant women, in which Gamma Zeta established a closet here in the 1950s. We also have Zeta Prematurity Awareness and the International Women of Color. This program benefits to include support for those with AIDS and those caring for AIDS victims. As far as scholarship is concerned, the mission of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority National Education Foundation is to support higher education and achievement through scholarships and conduct community education programs. Here, this particular organization provides scholarships to graduate, undergraduate, and postgraduates. With our centennial being celebrated in the year of 2020, we actually started giving for five consecutive years, $100,000 scholarship to recipients. The first recipient was Kaylin Withers in 2020.
As we talk about sisterhood, as our founders envisioned back in 1920, they wanted to ensure that they had a sorority that was unified. We continue that legacy today. The other principle of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is Final Womanhood. We celebrate our Final Womanhood Week at the end of February and the entire month of March. During that time, we embrace those persons in our community who have made a difference and an impact in our sorority, and we do this globally. We also, as Zetas, we recommit ourselves to our why we became a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority. We also look at how we can embody ourselves and look at how we just reinvigorate ourselves and continue to thrive upon the legacy that our founders laid before us. At this time, we will look at talk about a few of the prominent members of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I first want to begin by talking about our 23rd International President, Cheryl P. Underwood, who is currently a co-host of The Talk. The next prominent member I would like to spotlight is Maggie Walker. Maggie Walker, in the 1920s, she established the first bank, and that bank was called St. Luke Penny Savings Bank. She was the first woman of any color to establish a bank in the United States of America. As well as another prominent member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated is Violet Anderson. She was an attorney who was the first woman to speak before the U.S. Supreme Court in 1926.
Other prominent members of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated include Ophelia Seto Egypt. She helped expose the infamous Tuskegee study of syphilis, black sharecroppers, and also played a leading role in Charles Johnson's Shadow of the Plantation, a study of the sharecropper. Egypt was an author of a collection of interviews with 100 former slaves, which conducted during the travels in Tennessee and Kentucky, and that collection is called The Unwritten History of Slavery, which was published in 1968. Alice Duggett Carey was appointed the second principal of Morris Brown, which is a flagship among the Georgia African Methodist Episcopal churches. She was the first librarian of the Auburn Carnegie Library in Atlanta. This was actually the first and only library that was accessible to African Americans during the segregation period. She established the second chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated at Morris Brown College, and she also established the first free kindergartens for African American children to include Augusta, Atlanta, and here, Charleston, South Carolina. On behalf of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated Gamma Zeta Chapter, we thank the town of Mount Pleasant for allowing us to share our rich history and many accomplishments of 101 years of being finer. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Walter Strawther. I'm the Associate Pastor at Hibbing United Methodist Church and a proud member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity. And I'm joined by my brother, Damon Drayton. And we're going to talk a little bit about our fraternity. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity was founded at Howard University in Washington, D.C. on January 9th, 1914 by 3 young African-American male students. Our founders, Honorable A. Langston Taylor, Honorable Leonard F. Morris, and Honorable Charles I. Brown, wanted to start an organization, a Greek letter fraternity, that would truly exemplify the ideals of brotherhood, scholarship, and service. Founder Taylor chose business as his life's calling, and from 1917 until 1926, he owned a real estate and insurance business. He was Secretary-Treasurer of the Potomac Investment Company, Director of the Federal Life Insurance Company, and President of Taylor Tobacco Company. Founder Taylor coined our fraternity's motto, which is culture for service and service for humanity. He began serving humanity by founding Phi Beta Sigma, to which he gave 12 consecutive years of service as a national officer, serving as national president, national treasurer, national secretary, and field secretary. He also served as president of the Distinguished Service Chapter. Founder Taylor was described as a distinguished, poised, and a truly hard worker. The members of the Alpha Sigma chapter of our fraternity called Founder Taylor Prof, short for professor, because he was always carrying a book, reading a file, or those books. In addition to holding national offices in Phi Beta Sigma, he served in various capacities in the Washington Art Society, the Derby Club, the Banneker Research Society, the Mu So Lit Club, and the Tennessee State Club. Founder Taylor was a tireless worker who strove to ensure that Phi Beta Sigma would make a significant impact in the world and well beyond his years of service. He served as on the History Committee, providing numerous notations, minutes, and oral history to be passed on to future members. Founder Taylor retired from federal service as an employee of the Smithsonian Institute. Founder Morris earned his Bachelor's of Divinity degree from Payne School of Divinity at Wilberforce University, a master's degree from Northwestern University, and the degrees of Doctor of Metaphysics and the Doctor of Psychology from the College of Metaphysics in Indianapolis, Indiana. He received the Doctor of Divinity honorary from Allen University in Columbia, South Carolina, and the LLD at Edward Waters College, Jacksonville, Florida. Founder Morris was an outstanding educator, minister, and a prophetic voice of his time. Founder Morris served at several academic and religious institutes. He was the Dean of Theology and President of Edward Waters College, and a Mason. Founder Morris founded and chartered numerous Sigma chapters, particularly in the state of Florida. Founder Morris was also a student of the Greek language and is responsible for naming our fraternity. In addition, he wrote Sigma's first constitution and was the first president of the Alpha chapter. In the 1915 Howard University yearbook entitled The Mirror, Founder Morris had listed by his name the following:
Doctor of Social Service, YMCA, 1913 through 1914, organizer and president of Phi Beta Sigma, 1914 through 1915, and president of the Young Men's Progressive Club, 1914 through 1915, and a tutor of languages and history. Founder Morris was married and had 5 children, 2 of which are brothers in this fraternity. And in 1915, Howard University Yearbook, Founder Morris left us with these words: "Smooth runs the water where the brook is deep." He was very cordial and very popular with the student body and Howard University administration. Founder Brown is credited with choosing the 9 charter members of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. In addition, he founded the Delta chapter at Kansas State University in Manhattan, Kansas on April the 9th, 1915, and was a teacher at the Kansas Industrial School for Negroes in Topeka, Kansas. In the 1914 Howard University Yearbook, under the personals and applied quotations section, Founder Brown left us with this: "No legacy is so rich as honesty." Founder Brown graduated from Howard University on June 3rd, 1914, and the last correspondence that the fraternity received from him was a letter to Founder Taylor in 1924, in which Founder Brown indicated that he was teaching in Kansas. Census records and oral interviews show that Founder Brown lived in Topeka, Kansas, in the Topeka, Kansas area until 1931. Some believe that he was a casualty of the First World War. Others thought that he moved overseas. In the spring of 1949, Founder Leonard F. Morris wrote, "We live in daily hope that we shall one day learn the fate of our beloved brother and founder." The founders of our fraternity deeply wished to create an organization that viewed itself as a part of the general community rather than being set apart from the general community. They believed that each potential member should be judged by his own merits rather than by his family background or affluence, without regard to race, nationality, skin tone, or texture of his hair. They desired for their fraternity to exist as part of our ever greater brotherhood, which would be devoted to the inclusive we rather than the exclusive we. From its inception, the founders also conceived Phi Beta Sigma as a mechanism to deliver services to the general community. Rather than gaining skills to be utilized exclusively for themselves and their immediate families, they held a deep conviction that they should return their newly acquired skills to the communities from which they had come. This deep conviction was mirrored in the fraternity's motto, "Culture for Service and Service for Humanity." Today, Phi Beta Sigma has blossomed into an international organization of leaders, no longer a single entity. Members of the fraternity have been instrumental in the establishment of the Phi Beta Sigma National Foundation, the Phi Beta Sigma Federal Credit Union, and the Sigma Beta Club Foundation. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority, founded in 1920 with the assistance of Phi Beta Sigma, is the sister organization of the fraternity, and we proudly say we are the only constitutionally bound brother and sisterhood. This time, Brother Drake will name some members, notable members of Phi Beta Sigma.
Notable members of the Phi Beta Sigma past and present include local to the Charleston area, Reverend Dr. Kylon Middleton, Charleston County Council member, Bishop Samuel Green, Bishop in the African American Episcopal denomination. Sports, Brother Emmett Smith of the Dallas Cowboys, NFL Hall of Fame. Jerry Rice, Super Bowl champion, NFL Hall of Fame. Brother Lou Brock, 2-time World Series champion, MLB Hall of Fame. Richard Sherman, Super Bowl champion. Brother Al Joyner, track and field gold medalist. Brother Johnny Gray, track and field gold medalist. In the entertainment realm, we have Brother Ben Vereen, Brother Blair Underwood, Brother Al Roker, Brother J. Anthony Brown, Brother Harry Belafonte, Brother William Bootsy Collins. In the politics and civil rights realm, we have the Reverend Brother Al Sharpton, Brother A. Philip Randolph, Brother James Weldon Johnson, Brother Huey P. Newton, Brother Hosea Williams, Brother Elijah Cummings, and the late, great Brother John Lewis. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Hezekiah Grice from Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. I'd like to thank the town of Mount Pleasant and the Historical Commission for celebrating us during the, excuse me. That's okay. See, I had it too. I was doing good. Yeah. All right, start over.
Yes, you can start over. Have a little like cut.
That hit me like right there.
Now I'm feeling giggly though.
Okay, I'm ready.
Seriousness, sorry.
Are we going?
We're going.
Hello, my name is Hezekiah Grice from Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. We'd like to thank Mount Pleasant and the National Historical Committee for celebrating Black fraternities and sororities during the month of Black History. We'd like to take a moment to discuss Iota Phi Theta Fraternity and their history in the town of Mount Pleasant in the state of South Carolina and also in our nation. Iota Phi Theta Fraternity was established September 19th in 1963 in Baltimore, Maryland at Morgan College, now Morgan State University. Our fraternity was established 3 weeks after the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King, 50 miles away in Washington, D.C. It was established during the turbulent years of 1963 that also seen the murder of Medgar Evers. It also seen Bull Connors and his rhetoric as he discouraged America to separate even more. During those times, we decided we need to unite more. And we figured the best way to do that would be to stand on the shoulders of those who came before us so we could see further and blaze better trails. I'm a proud member of Alpha Chi Omega graduate chapter in Columbia, South Carolina. Through this chapter, we have several initiatives, our biggest one being St. Jude, where every year we walk or run in the St. Jude Marathon, and we donate money and raise money for children in need. Our fraternity also has initiatives such as I Am a King, where we peacefully protest and stand up against opposition that will separate Americans and separate blacks. We take time to donate clothing during the wintertime. We take time to make meals during the summertime. Our fraternity takes time to give back to the community. On the pillars of education, brotherhood, and leadership, amongst other things, we continue to make strides in improving our country and improving us as people. We'd like to take a moment to just reflect on where we've been. In the past, South Carolina did not have a strong presence for Iota Phi Theta Fraternity. That all changed when we came to Clemson University, South Carolina State, the University of South Carolina, Claflin University, and also Francis Marion. We continue to make strides in the community in the cities of Charleston, Goose Creek, Mount Pleasant, Orangeburg, and Columbia. Some of the things we do with our National Youth Foundation is we mentor young men on how to become older men and better men and give back to society. We do this through classes, hands-on examples, and spending time with them. We also take time to go into local community hospitals and read. We take time to give back and donate our time as we help prepare students as they grow. I should have wrote this down. We also go into schools and we prepare students as they go towards future grades as they graduate 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade and prepare for high school. We have a small foundation up in Florence that donates a scholarship to graduating high school seniors as they prepare for college. The one thing about Iota Phi Theta is that we are known for the struggle. Our motto is building a tradition, not resting upon one. So as we go through the struggle of daily lives, we continue to always give back. We continue to recognize that struggle, from that struggle, beauty can arise. From that struggle, success will rise. If you're interested in learning more about our organization, please go online at www.iotaphitheta.org. Once again, my name is Hezekiah Grice from Alpha Chi Omega. Thank you.
Greetings. I am Nikita Page Dawson, the president of the Charleston Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is a private, not-for-profit organization whose purpose is to provide assistance and support through established programs in local communities throughout the world. The organization is a sisterhood of predominantly Black, college-educated women. Since its founding, more than 350,000 women have joined the organization. The sorority has over 1,000 collegiate and alumni chapters located in the United States, the Arabian Gulf, Bahamas, Bermuda, Canada, Germany, Jamaica, Japan, the Republic of Korea, and the Virgin Islands. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority was founded on January 13, 1913, by 22 phenomenal collegiate women on the campus of Howard University. These students wanted to use their collective strength to promote academic excellence and to provide assistance to those in need. In March of 1913, the founders of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated performed their first public act. They participated in the Women's Suffrage March in Washington, D.C. Since its inception, the organization and members have been dedicated to the constructive development of its members and to public service with a primary focus on the Black community. The major programs of the sorority are based upon the organization's 5-point programmatic thrust: economic development, education development, international awareness and involvement, physical and mental health, and political awareness and involvement. Since its founding in 1913, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated has clearly distinguished itself as a public service organization that boldly confronts the challenges of African Americans and hence all Americans. Over the years, a wide range of programs addressing education, health, international development, and strengthening of the African family have evolved. There are many notable women who have molded our legacy to make Delta Sigma Theta a powerful force. We are more than just a sorority. Sadie T. M. Alexander, PhD, our first national president, was the nation's first woman to earn a PhD in economics. Brigadier General Hazel Johnson Brown, PhD, was the first African-American woman general in the United States Army. Alexis Kennedy, at the age of 26, became the first Black woman neurosurgeon in the United States. Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman member of the U.S. Congress, the first African-American and first woman to run as a major party candidate for the presidency of the United States. Frankie M. Freeman, noted attorney and our 14th national president, was the first woman appointed to the Civil Rights Commission by President Lyndon B. Johnson and served 16 years. Dorothy I. Height, PhD, our 10th national president, was appointed by President Carter to the Presidential Commission on National Agenda for the 80s. She served as the national president of the Council of Negro Women for more than 40 years. Barbara Jordan was the first African American to serve in the U.S. Congress from the South since Reconstruction. She was also the first Black to preside over a state senate and the first African American to deliver the keynote address at the Democratic National Convention. Marcia Fudge, 21st national president and congresswoman. Carol Moseley Bronze, the first African American female elected to the United States the first African-American U.S. Senator from the Democratic Party, and the first woman to defeat incumbent U.S. Senator in an election. Throughout our local, state, region, country, and the world, we have many more extraordinary women committed to the betterment of our communities. In Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, there is joy in our sisterhood. There is power in our voices, and there's definitely service in our hearts. We are more than just a sorority. We are a movement. We are a movement. We are a movement that is dedicated to educating, empowering, and inspiring our Charleston community. The Charleston Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated was chartered as the Beta Alpha Sigma Chapter on November 15, 1940, by 10 charter members and 4 special initiates who knew that Delta's presence was needed in the Charleston community. The Charleston Alumni Chapter currently has a membership of over 200 members who are dedicated to the mission of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated to provide assistance and support in our local communities and internationally through established programs based on our organization's 5-point programmatic thrust. The Charleston Alumni Chapter initiatives and activities includes the following: youth mentoring programs, voter education and registration drives, sponsoring political forums, providing scholarships for graduating high school seniors, collecting food and supplies for families, partnering with Habitat for Humanity, sponsoring financial literacy workshops, school supply distributions, provide funds to support water supplies in Africa and Haiti, and also coordinating Delta Day at City Hall, just to name a few. The members of Charleston Alumni Chapter has continually followed in the footsteps of our founders and charter members. We have remained in the forefront of action as a voice for those in need. Through our continued commitment to service, this year marks 80 years of service to the Charleston community. We are the Charleston Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. We are united in sisterhood and engaged in service. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, to the listening audience. First of all, we'd like to thank the town of Mount Pleasant for giving Omega Psi Phi Fraternity an opportunity to present ourselves locally to this community. I am Israel M. Broderick. I was initiated into the fraternity on Saturday, March 23rd by way of Epsilon Chapter, housed on the campus of Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina. We have with us today Epsilon Nunu's, well, I'll start with the district rep. We have the district rep of the 42nd district rep of the state of South Carolina and North Carolina. Our leader, who's at the helm of these two states, Brother Kurt Walker. Thank you, Brother DR, for being here. Then we have the basilisk from the local chapter of Epsilon Nunu in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, Brother Anthony Freeman. We're here during Black History Month, and Black History Month obviously is an annual celebration and recognition of Black achievement and contribution to this country. Actually, one of our members, historian Carter G. Woodson, was the spearhead of Black History Month. It was called Negro History Week, founded in 1926, and it ballooned into this great recognition of Black History Month. The whole month, when Brother Carter G. Woodson founded it, was only the second week in February. And so we're here today to talk about Omega. Historically, and notably, Omega is the first fraternity to be founded on an African-American college or university, the HBCU, that being Howard University. This dream, this idea of Omega was that of 3 friends, 3 undergraduate students, Oscar, Frank, and Edgar. And I don't call their first names out of disrespect because they are and will always remain to be our illustrious founders. I said that because back in 1911 on the campus of Howard, they were just that to themselves, their friends, the faculty and staff, Oscar, Edgar, and Frank. And what amazes me is that these 3 young men, being freshly out of their parents' tutelage and instruction, had the mindset, the foresight, the insight to establish a fraternity. It is said that they were on campus and they looked across the quadrangle where students hung out, and they said, this is great, but this is not what we want. There was a fraternity that predated us, but they decided they wanted something different. They wanted men of same scholastic achievement, of sterling character, and who had a friendly disposition. And it wasn't without some resistance, so they decided to establish a fraternity. And what made it unique is Oscar, the young student, was the lab assistant of Dr. Just, who's the son of Charleston. He was born at 28 Inspection Street, and his mother formed the town of Maryville. Professor Just is a son of this area, and we're happy to know that he's one of our founders. And he solicited and petitioned the help of Professor Just, and it started there. And according to our history, it says on a Friday evening, November 17, 1911, they went into the office of Dr. Just in the science building, now called Thurkield Hall, named after the 8th president of Howard, who was a white gentleman. He was Reverend Wilbur P. Thurkield, and we recognize it now today as Thurkield Hall. And they say, hey, Dr. Just, we want to start a fraternity because the other fraternity, we just don't want it. And he says, we shall do it. And so on that night, they formed a motto called friendship is essential to the soul. And I am confident to say that the founders chose this motto because they were 3 friends on the campus of Howard, in so much that they were known as the 3 Musketeers. They had an endearing relationship. And so I appreciate that they were friends and gave us that great motto. They created the shield. They chose the colors of royal purple and old gold. And they brought us our wonderful 4 cardinal principles: manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. And the fraternity has defined those, but in a very short summation, I said they thought about manhood, representing responsibility, because any man has to be responsible. And manhood is not necessarily decided by age, but decided by action. And any man will seek scholarship to further his life so he can make better. Manhood, scholarship, perseverance. And in seeking scholarship, you may hit bumps because you're trying to get a job, you're trying to get educated. And they said in the midst of doing all of this, you have to persevere. No matter what obstacle, what challenge, what you have to negotiate, you have to persevere. And he said when you've persevered to get where you go, the founder says, don't forget where you came from. Reach back and uplift somebody you know in your community. And Omega said, we don't want man of mediocrity. We want man of exception and excellence. Everyone can't be an Omega man, but everyone can be a man. We're a special breed, and I'm happy to say. And we were not met without resistance. When the founders set out to establish this fraternity, the campus was they were not fond of it, and they resisted. But the young brothers decided to put up some placards and got in trouble, and were even threatened to be suspended or expelled. But Dr. Just intervened. He liaised for us, and on Friday, December 15th, we became official on the campus of Howard. Then in Wednesday, October 28th, in 1914, we were officially incorporated under the laws of Washington, D.C. I want to say in this fraternity, when we are initiated, we all become brothers. But brothers to me is always a sign of consanguinity. It's about blood when you define brother. We could be brothers in a brotherhood, but brotherhood says blood relationship. But I believe in this fraternity as we grow and we move, I believe we should always strive to go beyond being brothers, but being friends. Because being brothers is mostly inheritance. We all get the same thing when we enter the ranks of Omega. But we need to evolve to where the founders were. 3 friends that in 1911, on a Friday evening, 109 years ago, they could birth a fraternity that has withstood the test of time and has become a powerful good in society and has changed the life of many brothers and many people. And I'm compelled to say that I want to be friends because friendship is based on a choice. And all the men here chose Omega for our own reasons. And this brotherhood is set to do many great things. And I hope it's another 109 years. So I pay homage to the 4 men who decided to found this fraternity. So I wouldn't even have to begin to consider anything else. So we thank you for that opportunity. I am blessed to be a part of this group. I am blessed to be a part of this chapter here in Mount Pleasant. Our feet are on the ground when we're running. I did want to say, if I didn't, Dr. Marion E. David is our Grand Basileus. He runs the chapter from the top down. I don't have much more to say, but thank you for the opportunity and this chance to express ourselves and give you a little bit about our history of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. God bless you.
Hello, my name is Anthony Freeman. I was initiated into this great fraternity on November 18th, 1982 at the University of South Carolina State. I have the chapter there. It's called Xi Psi, and just wanted to take this opportunity to let you know that we actually formed the chapter here in Mount Pleasant. It was chartered on July 17th, 2020. It was at the 82nd Conclave. We were the only fraternity or chapter that was established during this particular pandemic time. It was, I guess, an idea that we've had for many years to try to bring a chapter over here in Mount Pleasant, and we're finally able to say that we're successful in doing that. We've been pretty active in the community so far. We've been involved with the voters registration. We did a blood drive, and we're going to be doing a screening of a African-American movie here on Saturday at the 4 Mile Community Park. So we're pretty excited about having the opportunity to service the Mount Pleasant community. Our watchword is service. That's the main feature of our fraternity. And the fraternity here is Epsilon Nu Nu. We were able to get it established, as I said, in July of 2020. So just wanted to say we're really happy to be here and look forward to working with the town of Mount Pleasant and all of the communities within it. And pass you on to our district representative, Brother Kurt Walker.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the brothers of the Mighty Sixth District, on behalf of our Grand Basileus, Dr. David E. Marion, and of course, our immediate past Grand Basileus, who hails from the city of Raleigh, North Carolina, Dr. Tony Knox, I bring you greetings from all of our brothers from our various chapters, undergraduate and graduate chapters from North and South Carolina. I want to definitely take a moment and congratulate the brothers of the Epsilon Nu Nu chapter, who was recently chartered this past summer during the pandemic season. And this chapter will be very relevant in terms of the growth of the Low Country. Prior to forming the Epsilon Nu chapter, Mu Alpha was the only chapter for Omega Psi Phi as far as graduate chapter here in the Low Country. When you pause to think about that, out of the 5 cities in South Carolina being the 5 largest cities, the Mu Alpha was responsible for the city of Charleston, Mount Pleasant, and North Charleston. 3 of the largest 5 cities were here in the Low Country. So the natural growth in the last, recent years, it led to a clear understanding that it was time for growth in the Omega Psi Phi fraternity in the Low Country. And the brothers stepped up in a dramatic way in terms of being in a pandemic season, and we were able to get that charter ratified at our 82nd Grand Conclave. We hope to do some more growing in the months and years to come. Matter of fact, we now have a charter in the city of Greenville, North Carolina, and that's the Iota Nu Nu chapter. So that's similar to the name here in Mount Pleasant. And we have some very, great projects coming up in the near season. Number one being in the city of Charleston. Of course, the Brothers of Mount Pleasant will be highly engaged with this project, but we are honoring one of our founding fathers, Dr. Ernest E. Just, in a park in the city of Charleston, and that's going to be probably tentatively the summer or fall of 2022, maybe even early of spring 2022. That's our desire. And we will have a statue honoring our founder, Dr. Ernest E. Just, at that time. So again, I just want to thank the citizens of the city of Mount Pleasant, and we look forward to a growth of our fraternity here in Mount Pleasant. We have a historic community. I'm learning more and more of it from the brothers, the 9-mile, the 10-mile communities, the Snowdens, and so we hope our chapter flourishes here in the community, and with your support, we will be doing great things. I thank you very much for your time this morning. Thank you.
On closing, we wanted to highlight some of the prominent brothers, the who's who of Omega Man who've influenced society. I'll give you a brief list. There's Brother Benjamin E. Mays, and locally in the state of South Carolina, Brother James Clyburn. We know him very well. There's Michael Jordan, Benjamin Hooks, Vernon Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, and the list is exhaustive. But we have our hands and tentacles throughout the world, throughout communities, and we take a privilege because the greatest gift to society is always service to mankind. Thank you again.